three where we have recommendation vote on, and we still have no numbers yet at this point in time. So we'll just leave those as they be, and kind of 3D and 4 go together in my mind, because if we have any reconciliation, we'll deal with it, but we'll start with the cover of the book and work through there.
So for planning purposes, those three articles, you will post a meeting.
On April 23rd, that's on my agenda to get to.
I'll wait.
Okay, no, it's a fair question. I plan on holding a meeting that Thursday prior to the town meeting to do those numbers.
Versus prior to town meeting?
Yes, because prior to the town meeting, in my experience, is like herding cats. There's so many people distracted by, oh, hey, I see someone I haven't seen in 3 years, and this, that, and the other thing. To get it and organized, it's much easier to do it in isolation than it is in that room. That's my opinion on that one. I mean, if you think,
Far off, so that's fine.
okay. So the only thing really different in the thing, for the second year in a row, we were accounting for the first annual town meeting, so now we're at the 289th. And so the cover's been corrected for that. All right. So moving into the table of contents, anyone have anything in the table of contents they want to discuss, talk about, adjust? Okay.
Can I just ask, what is the official name of that book?
Oh,
So it's called the draft.
V2.
V2 FY27 Finance Committee report, whatever the,
but then I sent out an updated line item budget and an updated report of the Finance Committee this afternoon with no numbers on them.
that's okay, we'll work off of that, and then, the minutes are just gonna say, we talked about
Yeah,
edits versus capture the back and forth.
that's fine. Okay, so now we're on to section 3, which is the actual report of the Finance Committee. I did send out, like at 4:15 this afternoon. I don't know if everyone got a chance to take a look at those.
I have comments based on the first one you sent out, and I couldn't tell where the edits were in there, so I don't know how you pick them up, but.
Okay, well, why don't we just start left to right, and then we'll just go in order. So, Bridget, do you have anything you want to add, discuss, talk about?
In the report?
Yeah,
No, but I have a minor edit.
what's that?
It says Sturbridge is nearly built out, and there's a space between built dash and out.
That's in the issues? Oh, yeah, gotcha.
I'm trying to find it.
All right, that was in the issues for your consideration topic. There's a dash between built and out. So you good, Bridget?
Yeah, that was my only edit.
All right, we'll go to MC, and you don't mind, Mike, we'll just work around to you.
Okay,
Substantive one, so-
under role and responsibility, on your last edit, you corrected it, but now this form,
Yeah, I went back to just Deems.
yeah. Okay, so, yeah, the Finance Committee studies all articles and gives recommendations that it deems
Yeah.
is in the best interest of the town and its citizens?
I mean,
It doesn't need the word is.
It doesn't?
It does not.
Okay, then.
That it deems is in the best interest.
It deems in the, okay, I
Best
stand
interest.
corrected
Doesn't need-
then.
I think I sent you that. It
you
doesn't
did,
need
you
the word
adjusted it
is.
back, and I,
And
because I
can't
mean,
find
I,
it now.
well, then I went and kind of did a usage thing, and the usage says Deems is fine. I'm like, great, I'm going back with my original one.
Under budget highlights, just the question, the free cash balance, the last sentence of the first paragraph, is that to begin FY '26?
Yes, that's coming into this year we're in right now.
Yeah, he sent us one this
We
afternoon.
began fiscal year '26 with $7,262,000 and change in certified free cash.
In surf, okay. Let me see. Then on page II,
Aye,
yeah, under projected revenue risks,
yeah.
just something small. The second paragraph, the second line, by funding these with free cash, comma, like a school bus and police cruisers.
Oh, hey, Robin and Barbara, we have a general question, and there's confusion, so if you two can, in your paperwork, look this up. My understanding is that there's only one school bus in the entire budget, and that's coming out of that article, and there's not one in any of the school budget, in the Burgess budget, basically. So there's only one school bus, not two, one being funded out of Burgess and one being funded by the article.
As far as I know, no, it's just the one in the article.
Yeah, that's correct, only one.
So, when we went to the Burgess hearing, we got the budget, and it had a proposed budget at the hearing of $14,500,650. It included a line item
It's on my iPhone, but not on my
of $280,000 for 2 school buses.
I don't think so.
My notes at the hearing said that was for 2 buses, and they will reduce to 1 bus, and bus number 2 will come by a warrant article. And if I look at the budget that came out of the Burgess hearing and is in our book that we approved, that's $14,360,650, which is $140,000 less than what was in there. So I believe the budget they left one in there and shifted 140 out of the budget by doing the other article. So I believe we're still purchasing 2 buses, one in their budget and one via warrant article. And I believe that's what the superintendent said when she was at our meeting as well.
That's what I remember hearing as well.
So that's where we're kind of stuck, because I thought it was the opposite.
Yeah, I was completely under the impression that they had pulled the bus out of the budget, thinking that there was only one. I would have to confirm with Deb on that unless Barbara, because I think Barbara was under the same impression. I can text Deb. and see.
I just,
Okay.
Very cool, Barbara.
Thank you.
So maybe we'll have an answer tonight, would be great. All right. So MC, we were still with you?
That's it for the narrative portion.
Okay. Chris?
Yeah, I had some thoughts. Maybe this is more form over substance. If we start off, budget highlights saying, according to the adage that every cloud has a silver lining.
Yeah.
We never really talk about the clouds and the silver lining. I wonder if we should just start with Sturbridge will be able to fund its operations and maintain its level of services. Unless we want to.
No, we can get rid of that. I just was trying to be cute, I guess.
Oh,
I was kind of listening to Touch of Grey at that point in time, so it just kind of ran through my head.
yeah.
I agree.
So I'll delete that, that's fine. Just start with the word Sturbridge.
Yeah, and then when we get down to projected revenues / risks, we start with, again, with fiscal year 2027. Should we just say, similar to fiscal year 2026, the town's total budgeted revenue? It was clear to me what the again reference to. I assumed the again reference.
I'm sorry, where are you?
Projected revenues
went
and
to
risk
that.
page
Which,
towards the bottom page,
paragraph?
II, first paragraph.
Yeah, fiscal year 20, that has changed, right? That's one of the
I have the
changes
old
that you
one.
made.
Yeah,
Oh.
It's FY '27.
yeah, it was changed to FY '27 has the, and there was things that were reworded too.
Let me give you this one. Those are the only comments I had.
Okay. See what you think of that got reworded this afternoon.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the one you said at
Kevin, can I
4:30.
ask you, Kevin, could you send Robin and I the current document you're working on? I don't see that you sent that.
Oh, I didn't send it to you too this afternoon, no. Anyone have email?
I can.
Yeah,
Yep.
thank you.
Here is, this is kind of reworded.
Yes, no problem.
If you don't.
No, I found the last one.
All right, so we got through Chris, Mr. Waddick. Next time we'll start there and come this way.
Just give me I sent you most of what I had, but I just want to
All right, read through the changes from this afternoon.
I just downloaded for me, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I just.
I'll skip
Yeah,
you
go
for
ahead.
now. All right, Mike, what do you got?
Some of these are a higher level approach. So I think in general, we talk about this budget here, and we're talking about the 45 million and raising a pro for the budget, and another 400,000, and then the free cash. But we're asking people to act on a warrant for a whole lot more. I think that the number's like $60 million here, right? So we seem to talk about a limited set of what's being put before them. We don't talk about CPC expenditures, which we review and make recommendations on. We don't talk about the water and sewer expenditures that are in here that people are being asked to vote on, and pointing out the rate impacts and the future pressures coming down along those lines in there. There may be a couple other things in there. So I think, when I kind of laid out in my thing, what are all the expenditures in here and what are the funding sources in there? Our budget seems to just talk about the town budget and a couple of the warrant articles versus the overall picture that's in that warrant. So, and I know this is consistent with how we've done it in the past, and I guess as I look at it this year, it's like, well, why did we leave out all the discussions about all those other significant financial issues that are going on there? And why don't we point about them? So with that, I would have said, welcome to the town meeting, the annual town meeting warrant, I'll leave the special out of there, is asking you to approve financial expenditures of, X million dollars for the town's operating budget. Another, 400,000 raise and appropriate articles for, you can summarize in a couple words what it's for. Expenditure of, I'll get the number, $3 million of CPC funds for, the bridge, and a couple other things, and set, water expenditures, sewer of X million, sewer expenditures of X million for the operations and capital improvements and so forth. So they see the whole thing, and especially, we put them in the warrant articles, but why isn't it part of the message of, and here's the overall impacts of what's coming on?
There is one attachment, the first attachment does summarize the CPC funds, the first exhibit or whatever they call it at the back of the report. But you're saying put it
But it's not
more
part
in
of
the-
our report and our
Gotcha.
message. And if you want to, and that's back up to say, I'm just saying we're going to spend $3 million for, a bridge, cemetery, whatever you want to
Yeah.
put in there. They can go get that report for the details from there as well.
Okay.
So that's my broad comment there. We talked about, in the budget highlights, it says, "The town maintains its credit rating by adhering to its financial policies along with healthy free cash." I'm wondering if there's a third piece missing from there, and that's really a very well thought out, very, very structured process of budgeting our expenditures to fit within our budget forecast here, right? We start with, we've got a balanced budget. It's not because, the financial policies are how to fill a stabilization and how much free cash to have and a few others, but it doesn't really, there's a lot of work that goes into this budget. Barbara, the department heads, Robin, and so forth, to get us a budget and manage the day-to-day things within the available budget.
Thank you, we did well. I hear what you're saying there, but some of that, like the CPC funds, they're already collected, right? They're not, we already have that. And, there's no problem in us highlighting, say, hey, we're expending X amount of, $2 million out of the $4 million that CPC has. But that money's already kind of collected. It's not really, you know, it's kind of, it's like its own special fund. It's not, and the water sewer is the same thing. I mean, we should kind of, I guess, put up a yellow flag saying, hey, water and sewer users, if you want to get your rates lowered, you better go talk to your elected officials so that they expand it, because you've got this A, B, C, D, and E coming down the road in the next 5 fiscal years. And your rates are going to go up, 10% per year because of them, or whatever the number is that Ty and Bond threw out there in their report. I mean, I don't mind us having that put in there, but I don't think it's really, they're kind of separate bundles of money, right? The one is truly raised through the property tax levy limit, in the other.
CPC funds come from monies that you're raising from me this year and putting in the bank. If I follow that logic, down the road, when we take a couple $1 million out of a stabilization fund to fund some item, are we going to not discuss that in our report? Because that was money that's in the bank. We took it from taxes in prior years.
That
and
would,
stuck
to
the bank.
take money out, we would have to have a warrant article. It would be discussed by us.
Same thing with CPC funds.
Yeah, but they have warrant articles for it.
Same thing with whatever. So it's the overall financial picture. We seem to just focus on the operating budget, and we spend a lot of time going through that, but we go through every article in there, including those other expenditure articles, and even the non-expenditure ones. Now, I don't think, unless there's a financial impact to talk about the zoning articles or some of the other mass general laws that we ask people to adopt for whatever reason, I don't think we have to address those in there, but again, that's just my view.
I agree a little bit light, because I think the Standard & Poor's and the rating systems are more than just those two things. I mean, we could say something to the effect of effectively
Yeah,
managing.
but they note those two
Effectively
things.
managing debt, because that's probably one of the most important things. Effectively managing debt, which we've been doing. That would add, because I think the agencies look at that, debt is pretty important. And we are managing it, right? That's kind of the.
That's in the
language.
financial policies, how to manage debt.
Well, that's another thing I have, financial policies. Which policies we talking about? FinCom or?
The ones that are documented.
It's that one right there. That's the
Well,
policies.
we don't, so,
No, I think we do, but okay.
no, just read it.
So the question is it's called budget highlights. How much detail do we think is needed for the highlight? Is that basically?
I mean, that's just, we can change those titles too.
Well, I'm just saying in response to what Mike was talking about, it's like, how much detail do we want to go into at the beginning? I'm asking, I don't know.
I have to say, it's a lot for the stick in here tonight, but I can hear what you're saying, and in the future, I mean, we could talk about the 4 pools of money we're spending from, right? There's the tax levy money, and then CPC, water, sewer.
And just a comment, there's a difference between anticipating every question that may be asked and providing the answer in advance of the question being asked, and putting the information out there and people having a certain amount of individual responsibility, like watch the presentation from Ty and Bond and ask the questions of the select board if you want. So you can't answer all the questions in advance in a document like that, otherwise it'd be 30 pages long.
And I'm not trying to answer all the questions. I'm saying, we're making a report on the finances in here, that we're recommending, our votes are recommending $60 million worth of expenditures. We're only talking about.
But that's public information and has been for at least a couple of months. So we're going to beat that horse again
I'm just
in our
saying it's part of an
document.
overall summary at a high level, that's all. I could turn around and say, we don't have to talk about the 45 because it's public. Here's your annual report, let's go.
You have to draw the line somewhere. You can't make it break the Bible.
I'm just throwing it out there, we could, take it up for next year.
Can I make a recommendation?
There you go.
So maybe after we say total town budget 46,128, when you add in CPC, water and sewer, total expenditures will be 62 million, roughly? If you'd like to see more detail of the components of those numbers, Mike, you generated a nice little table like this. Put that in an appendix somewhere. Refer to appendix, whatever we want.
Yeah, I think that's a little bit too much detail in
That
that.
has value because it gives people an idea of how much money we're really expending. Not necessarily-
Right, and
expending that.
that be my, the lead in is, this year's annual town meeting warrant includes, $60 million worth of expenditures, so a little bullet for, town operating budget, via raise and appropriate, additional raise and appropriate funds for this. It's 4 or 5 bullets in there. And then, if you want to get into the, we've spent a lot of time on this $45 million operating budget, and I think what's missing, or I'll have to look, I don't know, it was fully clear when I first went through this. We gave you a balanced budget within what we have. We got there by being a little bit more aggressive in our revenue projections. But we've also made some shifts in moving some money out of that operating budget into others. The $200,000 that went into water and sewer rates. We don't talk about we just have an article about approving the revolving funds and the amount that could be spent, but we don't talk about, really give a lot of detail as to what those expenditures are. But we put some recreation staff costs in there because we were able to get them out of the operating budget, put them in there. Some leachate costs that normally in this budget are now coming out of out of that budget. So to give you that balanced account, we've had to make some moves and some shifts over there.
Speak next.
So, and that's another important feature I think we should be clear of. The finance team and others had to do some things to give you this balanced budget. We're still taxing at the maximum here. Be cautious about what's coming next.
Okay, I'd like to make a recommendation or float an idea, because this has to be submitted no later than Monday, and that's a yeoman's job for Kevin to try and do this, but maybe perhaps we should put on an agenda for one of the soonest upcoming Finance Committee meetings, put on the agenda an in-depth discussion of the composition of this report in subsequent years in terms of what should be there, what hasn't been there that should be, and perhaps what, there's always a chance what's been in there that's been superfluous. And that way we could beat this to death, and I don't mean that in a negative way. We could.
No, anything that makes it more that useful is.
But I'd rather see us do a thorough, if we're gonna do this, do it thoroughly and with a lot of
Structure, yeah.
than to try and do it, half-baked between now and Monday and have it come out, looks like it's been thrown together. So it might make sense to do that, and then we could just have our own meeting. It'd have to be public, but not too many people are gonna watch it if that's the only thing on the agenda.
Yeah. No, I that's a good idea.
I think that is too.
So so one or two other small things here. On the top of page 3, this is under the,
I.
yes,
Okay, yeah.
projected revenues. You review the budget over the last fiscal years. The departments are operating the funds needed to maintain minimum level of services. As stated earlier, most of the costs resulting in the revenue shortfall are out of the town's ability to control but must be funded. Is it revenue shortfall? Then we talk about budget items, so the word revenue,
I guess you could say, you see, revenue shortfall and budget increases are two sides of the coin for me, so I kind of use them interchangeably, but they're probably really not. Do you know what I'm saying? A budget increase generates a revenue shortfall, since we're playing zero sum right now. So, I mean, I'm happy to change it to budget increase,
in
or,
your mind, revenue is total revenues, not
Total.
just external revenue as well as taxation. Okay.
yeah.
All right. So on the top of page 3, this is under the, the departments are operating the funds needed to maintain minimum level of services. As stated earlier, most of the costs resulting in the revenue shortfall are out of the town's ability to control but must be funded.
Yeah. And I mean, that could be something that, to Jim's point, we bring up and say, you know, here's how we want to use these terms and what we want them to refer to. Because I think you're going to see when I get to one of Larry's things he has ideas too for us to include. He wanted to put it under new business, so, I mean, I'll talk about those when we get there. But that's one of the things he wanted. We had at one point kind of a dictionary in the back about what certain terms meant. Maybe we look at doing that again and making sure well, really me, adheres to the definitions that are in the back of the book.
And I guess in the bottom of page little I, at the bottom, we talk about the compressed time frame, and, you know, it'd be nice if we had a little bit more time to do this in here. I guess the question I have is, if we had more time, what would we do differently? Would we have higher revenue numbers and thus spend more money in the budget? Would we, I believe we should still go back to a June meeting, give us a little more time so we can better prioritize these, but I'm just wondering, if we had more time and some of these revenue numbers were a little bit better, and I take it by that better means more solid, probably higher than what we have in here, what would we do different?
I would go to almost an actual human reality of it. We wouldn't have to meet till 11:30 one night. We wouldn't have to meet to 10:30 another night. Where when you're getting that way, I see the frustration, I can sense it, but things need to get done. And I don't know if the best decisions are always being made when people are just like, I want to go home and go to bed, you know? And I've got other things to do.
We've done that 2 nights a week for the month and gotten it that way.
Yeah, but that's we used to do that. We used to meet, well, two nights a week for weeks. I mean, we'd have 12, 14 meetings.
So maybe I'd pose that to Barbara and
What
Rob.
prevents us from meeting all year round? Why do we have to meet?
The problem is-
Otherwise, we can get together, do analysis. We can't meet March, April, September, October.
Yeah, but
Meet amongst ourselves.
we can meet, that's what, like Jim was suggesting, we can meet among ourselves to discuss our policies and what we want to
Oh,
see
yeah,
happen.
and also some
But-
analysis we want to do or something like that.
Yeah,
Let's
but
put
this
down
is
this room.
specific to getting this book
Oh, no,
developed
it's
in
two
a
different
time
things.
frame for, that's all we're really focusing on.
Ideally, you want this meeting to occur as close to the end of the current and beginning of the upcoming fiscal year as possible. You don't want to be doing, would you do it in January when the fiscal year ends?
No,
at the
no,
end of
I'm not
June?
talking about that, but there's issues that we're talking about now that we might be able to address
Oh, yeah,
earlier
that
on.
stuff, we can talk about that almost anytime.
We don't.
We don't, but we could have a meeting in January about that, and there's nothing on the agenda that we're talking about that have to do with finances at all. The form and structure and content of that
Yeah.
presentation. You know, but as far as moving the meeting back to where
No, the meeting
it was,
itself,
I would
yeah, it
hate
can be
to
as
have
close as you can
submit,
to
in
real
my
time, right?
Previous life, submit a budget 2 months before the end of the fiscal year I'm currently in, because I don't know what the next 60 days is going to bring on my expense side.
And another real thing with that too is, right, when the department heads are trying to figure out their expenses, they're getting quotes in December and January for something that can't be paid for until July and August.
Just sort of trying to put into, execute this year's plan when they're trying to figure out what to do next year and say, how much am I really going to get completed or not? Yeah, that's,
And they're trying to figure out what they're going to spend for gasoline, when now the Strait of Hormuz closed and it's up to $6 a gallon, you know, that type of stuff.
and I guess finally, I'm a little
Unpredictable.
iffy on the issues for consideration, but the paragraph says we're nearly built out for commercial industrial uses. From my planning days, I agree they're right. What we don't mention in here is that 30% of land in town is, or more, is already designated as open space, so we're limited from building out there. But then there's a comment, much residential land remains for development. I don't know how we've come up with that. I don't remember any discussions with planning. I know when I did some research on a piece of property, my mother-in-law was trying to sell that had large acreage. There aren't very many large parcels of land left in town. So I don't know that there's a lot of space left for residential development. Certainly at the subdivision level, it's not. And so
I don't know how many single home lots there are, though. I mean, they're all,
I think there's very few.
I don't know. the
Fortunately, you
exact
drive up Route 49, And all that open space on the right-hand side is all wetland for miles. There's nothing you can do with it, and that's too bad.
So
because
I just, I don't know if we have a basis for that statement, but if there's a way to kind of, what's the message we're trying to, that's trying
Maybe
to come
someone will be
across
able
there?
to discern, maybe through the, how much space there is left. Give us an actual number.
Yeah, I think the issue here is build-out, so is the
Yeah.
concern of, oh, by the way, there's a lot of residential development to come, and that's gonna create whatever? Or is the message, we're pretty much built out, there's very limited opportunities for growth right now, your budgets keep going up, if you're not gonna have new growth coming in, that means you're gonna have to absorb it from within.
That's
okay
where
with that
that's where I
message.
think that's going. That's how I read it.
We're a little bit late, we got 50 miles of trails.
And we have a
Well,
lot
I
of
mean,
solar
and it's all
farms
good. It's all-
on
it's
property
all
that
good, by
could
the
be
way, 'cause that's what
developed
the
for
townspeople wanted.
Commercial, industrial, or residential, and we've got these massive solar farms.
Well, that's why, that's the one thing we,
Excellent.
isn't there a statement here where we encourage the, our elected officials and other boards and to consider revenue as part of their planning? Oh, yeah, right here. Revenue generation must be a factor in considering policies and development. The Finance Committee urges, it should be, our elected representatives and employees to actively seek out new revenue opportunities along with impartially evaluating those opportunities on their respective merits. Because a lot of time they don't get evaluated on their respective merits, but a different set of priorities.
I don't know yet.
So I won't wordsmith any other pieces in there, those are just the thoughts. that I
No,
had.
good thoughts. I like the idea of having a meeting and let's come up with a structure that we all can kind of agree on. And
If we
and
do it
almost,
early enough, we can do it and then maybe resume later when we think about it some more and beat it to death some more until we get it right where we, when we have months to work on it rather than days.
Right.
It makes a huge difference.
all right, so I'm gonna go to Ken next.
Yeah.
and then
A
we'll
couple,
go to Mike
just a
on the
couple of
phone.
things. One is as far as reasons for budget. I think Robin, in her presentation, really highlighted at length the fire department as part of reason. I think it's 13% increase. I don't think it's in there.
It's not,
Why?
because it was highlighted in there, in that presentation. People had access to it. That was my thinking. It's, I mean,
We don't put it in here as part of reason for the budget being what it is?
You're talking about how they rearranged the shifts?
yeah.
That's 13%
Well,
increase.
if we talk about the
Wait,
budget
hang on.
items that create the largest
Yeah.
impact, we talk about the healthcare, the retirement plan, is
I didn't think that,
that,
It-
the top three on the list?
no, that's just it. Right? I mean, it went up 241,000, but it was gonna go up, 200,000. I mean, I didn't see that as a big thing, but I mean, I can add it and adjust the
I
numbers
think it was like
accordingly.
13%, wasn't it? The increase in the
Well, it's
budget?
15% in here, but it probably would have gone up, 10 without the change in the shift.
She did,
I don't know, I mean,
that was an extended
total-
presentation that she did on that.
What do you think,
Yeah,
Robin?
well, no, it doesn't matter what Robin thinks.
Yeah, it's really not my call. I mean, it's been publicly vetted at a select board meeting. It was publicly vetted, when you guys joined.
I can add it.
Publicly vetted
0.6
in
million.
FinCom, but I mean, I'll
What-
probably address it that night if someone has a question in town meeting.
What number, what is the actual number due to the change? It's not 291,000, so what is it?
I just know the percent was about 13%.
13, I thought it was 13%.
Yeah, but what's the actual dollar total associated with that change?
2.6 million.
No, just with that
No,
particular
change
change.
was 2.6 million.
All right, that's the total budget allocated to the fire department.
Yeah, but right, this change in going from, in their on-call days to four on-call days, how much, what's,
$1,000, I believe. I can get you the exact number.
so you actually think it's the 291 number that's in here?
Ooh, no.
I'm sorry,
It didn't go up to
241.
91. It didn't go up that much,
241.
no.
It went up about $240,000, I believe.
Yeah, the salaries and wages, but it would have gone up anyway, so what I'm looking for is the difference.
Right, the difference, right, so it would have gone up probably about 4%, let's say, and instead it went up 13%, so. I mean, I can't, but I don't know exactly what it would have been because I'd have to go back and calculate the
Sure.
overtime versus the regular salaries on that. Let me see if I can.
I mean, we can highlight it in here. I'd like a number, but I mean, we could also put it,
Instead of, instead of going up 3% or 4%, but say normally we would go up about 4 weeks, plus we have paramedics, firefighters become paramedics, we likely would have gone up probably around 5% or so, 5 or 6%. So we're up almost double that, so if you figure you get 241, I mean, I'm not being exact here, but I would venture to guess it's probably about $140,000, $150,000 more than it would have been.
okay.
I hate to do the math. So we go back to, are there line items in here that increased significantly that stand out? We've got the two, and those are easy, right? Because we don't know what it would have been. It is what it is.
Yeah.
The healthcare and the other. We have elections and registration up 113%, but that's,
No one's going to say that's a driver.
facilities is up 19%. That's not a driver, that's $1,000.
I mean, I would agree, Ken's right. The fire department change is a driver, but I don't know the number.
We can get that
If you
number,
want,
right?
if
We
you
can
want
get it. We can
to,
get
if
it
you want to
quickly.
say that budget is up 13%, that's the factual thing, it's up 13%, right?
I think it's up, but I think it's also positive. I think that was a good decision.
If you want to, if you want to say,
I mean, I could add a sentence at the end of that paragraph that says, therefore, for increases, and you could do something, it should also be noted that the fire department is also having a significant increase in their salary line item, but which is due to a change in the departmental
Yeah,
structure.
strategic, structural
Structural
change going
change.
from 3 to, and it's for safety reasons and service.
It's a structural change in scheduling of,
For scheduling purposes, which is due to department structural change for scheduling. I'll add that sentence in there. I'll just do it now.
it's good.
but I believe what it accomplished was it took people
Sealer waits
who were working 48 hours,
I think
Exactly.
other
Dropped
reasons
it
for
to
budget
42
increase
hours.
somewhere in
Right.
there.
but kept their pay
You still
at
get
the
paid.
same level that they were getting at 48 hours. because
Yeah,
it had
they
been-
got a pay increase, basically.
Also, it eliminated 24-hour shifts, if I'm recalling correctly, or outrageously long shifts.
Yeah,
Increase.
yeah.
No, it did not eliminate 24-hour shifts. It made the number of shifts back-to-back changed. But
Okay.
it's still a 24-hour shift program.
Okay, but
If you want, you're gonna get, if you try to put the details of the shifts into this report,
No,
right, no. I'm just saying it was done because it was a stressful situation for the individuals involved. It was like you just said, back-to-back shifts. Well, if they're 12-hour shifts, that's pretty tough.
yes. Yeah, so yeah, there's still 24s, it just changes the way the shifts fall.
Yeah.
And then it also eliminated that weird Kelly Day thing that was messing up.
I remember that too, yeah.
It will reduce the amount of forced overtime, which was a big critical morale thing.
All right, so here's the sentence I have. Let's just put this in here. So at the end of that paragraph, after the therefore foreign key increases total or 65.9% of the budget, it should also be noted that the fire department is experiencing a significant increase due to a structural change in the department to ease scheduling and reduce overtime expenses.
And that,
I'm okay with that, or maybe you leave it, the budget also fully funds the new contract with the fire department? Which, you know,
But it's not a new contract, it was a mid-year agreement.
Okay.
Mike, what I think is if you say enough and someone still has a question, they can ask the question, and
Exactly.
Robin can answer it for them, or someone else.
I agree 100%. Yep.
But if we try to explain the whole thing, it's going to become a dissertation. It's-
So we'll put that there. I think that hits your
And
fire
when you talk
department.
about reducing overtime, make sure you say forced overtime, because the actual overtime numbers,
Yeah, that didn't, yeah.
Yeah, just make sure it's.
Output
reducing the
forced overtime.
forced overtime.
Yeah.
That's critical in that. I don't want to imply that we're reducing overtime, we hopefully we will, but the crux of the reasoning is to reduce the forces.
Yep.
Just one quick thing. Chris made a comment about including the money expenditures over and above what's in the budget. Are you gonna put that in there?
What do you?
Well, we're spending money that's not part of the, it's not fundraising, it's not tax money. It's like CPC.
No, I'm not putting that
Funds.
in there at this point. That's the stuff we were adding, right? You were asking about, can we do it? I would have to restructure everything to bring in water, sewer,
It was just a
CPC.
comment that although this is what the budget is, in excess of the 46,000 budget, we're also spending X funds from these sources. Isn't that what you were hitting on?
Well, I was, yeah, that's the concept you brought up. And
Yeah, and I guess I'll let that out in my discussion, you know, we don't talk about the betterment in our thing, but we're funding a bunch of stuff in there as well. So, yeah, the fire department's budget isn't strictly what's in there. There are other things scattered in betterment and capital and other places as well.
Yeah.
On the other hand, those are all
You know, to,
show up in warrant articles.
I think the point of this discussion was you're trying to highlight the.
Operating budget only is
Two or
what-
three things in the operating budget that have significant increases. You had captured the retirement, you had captured the
Insurance.
insurance, and Ken pointed out the third item there would be.
Well, I
the
did
big
Burgess
jump
and
in the
and
fire
Tantascwa
department
too, because they're
as
big jumps too.
well. So,
You correct me if I'm wrong, if the budget's 46 million, but we're spending 52 million, because some of the money we're spending didn't show up in that line item budget. I think that was the point you were trying to make, isn't it, Chris? That we should let people know, this is what we're.
That was Mike's point. He
That's
was
Mike's
going-
point. My recommendation was to maybe include a little bit of language that says, hey, here's the budget we're all discussing right now. By the way, we're also going to, the reality is we're going to spend $62 million. If you want to see the details of that, go check out the schedule that Mike put together. It looks something like this in appendix.
Yeah, D or whatever.
Yeah.
That could be also something if we don't want to do it. now.
Back
We
to,
could-
back to the
That
fund.
was the thing I thought we were gonna put off and
Yeah.
try and structure
Okay, that's
everything.
okay.
I agree. I think it's a great idea to give people that full picture.
Yeah, the big picture.
Again, in this point, I'm only focusing on the raise and appropriate or what's being collected through tax levy more than anything else.
But you were finishing your thought. Chris.
Well, I was just, back to the fire department budget here. If we added the fifth element to these four elements that drive 65.9% of the total budget increase, we included the fire department, I'm gonna call it a restructuring, I know it's not a restructuring. With that, how much higher would that 65.9, would be like 80% of the increase would be?
I don't know because I don't know that number. I don't know what
we
the
don't?
difference is.
Okay.
That's what Robin and Barbara are gonna try and get a number. I have no idea what that number is. If I knew what that number is, I
got
could.
us to like 68%, let's
I
leave it
wouldn't try
out.
to artificially back out, well, the fire department would have gone up $50,000, but it's up, you know, 150,
290 or
and
whatever.
the net is 100. Let's just, that budget is up 13%, however many dollars in here. And if somebody asked a question, and we need to say, well, without that change, it would have gone up this much, we can address it that way versus trying to back calculate a number
Yeah.
and back the number down.
But I said it should also be noted, so at least people are aware to look there or ask.
It comes down to formulating answers to questions that may never be asked.
Right. But, okay, so, all right, so Ken, you still have anything else?
Just one thing, and I'll never bring it up again, regarding free cash, okay? I got the policy in front of me, and it says, "Town will endeavor to maintain a certified free cash balance equal to 5.5 to 7.5% of general fund. Free cash is an important indicator of whether the town is living within its means," which I believe. And then it goes on to talk about free cash as far as used for non-recurring emergency expenditures. And I know we do, and I know there's reasons for it, but that's the policy. Now, if I'm reading it wrong, I won't bring this up again, because I read these things.
So you're right. It says we shall maintain 5 to 7%, but I believe you go up further, you know, these are minimum and the
It's-
general
No, it didn't say minimal.
guidelines.
There's no minimum
It's
there.
gonna say endeavor. So we've
Maintain.
endeavored to get to 7.5%. We're at 8%. You know, we're not.
We were at
we're not- we're not
we were at
far.
17%.
when it got certified, and we're spending it down to maintain within the budget.
I'm just telling you, it's the
The other
policy.
part is, can you identify your concern that says we're using free cash for those regular operating budget items? I don't see that these free cash items there. We're using it for capital expenditures.
And another key consideration is, if you can do that and still put that aside and stay below the levy limit and don't need a Prop 2.5, it's almost like putting money in the bank and earning interest and having that available if you're gonna buy a fire truck or a dump truck or something. Because you haven't exceeded the levy limit.
Yep.
So it's, I'm not saying it's painless, but it's less painful than having all of a sudden.
And if there is an item that's being paid by free cash that you believe belongs in the operating budget, we can move it in the operating budget. But I'd like along with that item, a recommendation from you as to what else we're going to cut in those operating budgets in order to move that item in, because those operating budgets are maxed out. There is no additional way to put, those are all raise and appropriate articles. I can't put anything in there. We've taxed to the maximum limit we can. So if we want to slide something back in there from another bucket, I've got to reduce something in that book and in order to make room for it.
Okay.
So if there is something specific that you believe needs to slide in there, and a recommendation as to what we would slide out, we could have that conversation.
My conversation is this sentence true or not true? Will we endeavor to maintain that, which DLS, by the way, says is the optimal way for a town to operate?
We got our free cash back down to about 8%. We rounded
It's
up
actually
a
gonna
little
be
bit.
lower than that, though, once we know Article 55, 56,
So we'll
57.
be within the budget.
So we're gonna say plus or minus 10% of the budget, or that's all right.
Endeavor to maintain sounds like that's the minimum.
Yeah.
Endeavor to maintain means maintain, well, maybe it's good
Maintain
interpretation,
means
maintain.
minimum.
If I maintain something, I maintain it, I
Well,
don't
the
increase
con-
it.
That's what it means.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to do, though.
We're gonna
trying to keep
recertify
5
that
to
number
7%.
at July 1, and hopefully it becomes a higher number because revenue's a little bit higher, and maybe there's some turnbacks. And we'll be above the 7.5%, and then what we have to look for is what are we gonna do to get back down to that range? We're gonna either spend it on some other articles, and we're gonna use to reduce the tax rate, or we will decide to hold on to it for another reason. But if it were 25%, I'd say we're not really endeavoring to maintain, we're way out of whack. But we are bringing it back to within that range, so.
Well, just so you know, the thing with policies, and the reason they have them is if somebody gets the policy and they read it, they don't interpret it. Okay, I mean, you're gonna say, I endeavor,
I
maintain,
read it, and
I
I agree with it,
endeavor
and we're doing exactly what it says. That's my opinion.
7.5%,
I read it.
maintain?
I read the policy,
All right.
that's what we're doing.
Yeah, we'll just, this is, again, we've had this debate a million times, so we just agree to disagree on this one, and for the time being. All right, so Mike, do you have anything that you'd like to talk about as far as the report goes?
No, I do not. Everything that I wanted to bring up already being brought up.
And I'm all set. My
Okay.
stuff's all been covered.
All right, so if we're happy with the wording of this, we'll just save this, and I will close it, and I'll schedule a meeting maybe in the, early fall or something to go over what we want to structure it, make it.
If you want to
because I
send me the Word document of this, I could take a shot at, my concept of how to lead into those buckets and,
Okay.
save you the trouble of drafting it.
All right, so let's move into the line item budget itself. I did make changes in there and it forced me to get rid of it, because I'm actually thinking that I took away the top word in the column heads. First of all, we had to change selectmen to select board, and then accepted budget, and really just call it budget, and I might actually, working budget, actual budget, I'd accept another word there, because it's the budget we are actually working with this year, and it includes all those transfers. The only thing it doesn't include is the one point you make, is that we didn't adjust for the transfers in and out of the reserve fund for the finance committee.
And then Barbara gave me an education on that topic. I think it said approved
It used to say accepted budget.
Or accepted budget. So So again, Barbara, the way I would summarize this is, I keep looking at that column as,
What are you talking about?
you know, town meeting voters went, they got the book, they looked at, they voted a budget number, and there were some transfers that allowed throughout the year to get reflected in that and get reflected in this number. So if I only show up at town meeting and look at that column, it's like, okay, that's what I voted last year, let me see where we're going next year. And there were some changes in there. So, you know, maybe in the future, we can consider town meeting approved budget, FY whatever, you know, accepted budget, or whatever title we have in there now next to it, where they can see that there were some adjustments throughout the year that are consistent with how these accounting practices take place. But Barbara did say when we move reserve, increase some budgets because we spent some reserve funds, we don't reduce the reserve fund number in there. So I don't want to go in and start changing any numbers. I take these as, these are numbers that are coming out of this set of books that Barbara and the finance team are managing here. And I don't want to move line items around, if she doesn't move them around for whatever reason they do over there. But again, the optics to me was, for someone who just goes to town meeting and looks at that budget, all right, I was here last year, this is how much we approved, where are we going this year? Some of those numbers changed, they wouldn't necessarily know that, we don't put any footnotes in the end. It may look a little bit different in the carry.
Are you talking about the merit
No,
increases?
we're talking, well, yeah.
We're
the
talking about
adjust-
the changes.
Yeah,
Okay, because that merit, to clarify, when we approved the town administrators,
the merit's in there.
the merit's in there. Those funds for those 3% increases that are gonna appear later, not then, but later, are approved. The funds are approved. The difficulty in trying to get these numbers to work is they're not allocated until after the year closes.
Right.
So, you know, what we actually spent is 3% more than they.
So would you
actually
call-
approved.
So I would go
Because of
back,
that.
we've always called it whatever it is that's in there, I wouldn't change it based on the comments and issues that I raised here, I'd go back with,
You want to put accepted back there?
if that's what we've used all along, that's okay. I now understand what the accepted budget is versus the town meeting
And if
approved
someone
budget.
says, how come it said this last year and it's 3% more this year? Go back to the town administrators fund, and that's where the 3% came from, and it was approved. So the money was approved, it just wasn't allocated yet. And that's consistent across every position that was in that group.
I'll add accepted back in there, and that should adjust
So
every
that's just
page.
something to be
Good.
aware of. That, you know, it's-
And the
it
version
shows
you
up
sent
this year.
out
And I went
with
through
late
every one of
changes, it
those.
looks like you
All
took
went
out
3%.
the
Yeah,
asterisks
because they all get
against
the
those,
3% allocation after the-
Because
That's why that-
the budget adjustments, they were approved during the fiscal year, and, you know.
Okay, you did take out the asterisks.
I did.
Okay.
I just, so the only thing in here that's got an explanation is the finance committee where we say the salaries for the secretary and not the members.
Right.
I just don't know why we need to explain that in here.
You know, the only reason we
don't
do it,
anything else in any of the line
Any-
items. If someone
any-
raises the question, we'll answer it on
I
time.
mean, we can take it out. The only reason it's in there is because by law, we're not allowed to get any money at all. And it says personnel costs in there. So, and we don't, I mean, we could answer it. It could be a question brought up from the floor.
And you
It
could
says-
answer it.
And yeah, exactly. I could answer it.
But, you know, you put an answer to a question in there, it's, why don't they want me to ask that question?
I can get rid of it. I don't
I
care.
would get rid of it.
All right.
My opinion.
Yeah, it's gone.
There you go. Easy, huh?
It's that easy, yeah.
Sometimes if you
This
provide
doesn't-
an answer before the question is asked, the reaction of the person is, if they're answering it ahead of time, what are they trying to cover up?
Well,
I'm sorry, I'm just,
that's fine. Well, you know, some people are arguing that, you know, we can't touch this, and I think that's absolute BS. But that's, but that's another argument for another time. All right, so anything else with the line item budget? We'll work our way.
Okay, so you did, I apparently didn't print off the one you sent. You did change it to select board.
Yes, so
Okay.
a select board, and we added, I took out a word, and now I added it back.
Okay,
you took out some of the notes, but you left the asterisk in.
Did I? Oh,
You know, like
dumbass.
merit-based pay incentives has an asterisk, but the.
No, you
explanation-
gotta find those for me, because I definitely can't leave those. I can't believe I did that, but, you know, I can.
What were you referring to, you took out, but you didn't take the one next to the category.
Right, right. I got you 100%. I'm just trying to find them
There
all
was a
now.
couple of those, I think, but I
I
could be
think there were
wrong.
just two.
Yeah, the other one's the DPW director. That's what I gotta go find. That's it.
And then,
I can't
Yeah,
believe I forgot to do that.
DPW, it's still in there.
Yeah, no, I know it's still in there. I gotta adjust that.
Look like that asterisk?
Yeah, there used to be a note down below.
Oh, okay.
And when he took out the
Okay.
note, he didn't take out the asterisk.
All right, so now, thank you for pointing that out. I think we're okay now.
okay, under town planner, and what, did you change this? I apologize if you did. But under town planner,
Okay,
the total, all of the other titles are formatted, town planner, and then should be town planner total. And you have town planner, planning department total. All the other categories are formatted.
maybe we should just change town planner to the planning department.
That's whatever.
Is fair enough for me.
There is, oh, I see.
Yeah, okay, it's that one.
Yeah, because if it said planning department,
Yeah, that's fine. Changed.
Okay, hold on.
That's a good catch, though.
And the same thing for the community health.
Community health.
what page is that on?
It's on page 10.
Okay.
You have department community health, but then on the total, you say community health care.
No, it should be community health care, yeah. Okay.
So,
Oh, shoot.
So,
it should, whatever you pick, it should be the same.
Yep, gotcha.
Okay. Oh, okay, so now on page 13,
13.
under unclassified, again, it's just the formatting,
Unclassified total, it should be.
yes. Instead of total unclassified. And I think that's all I had for the line items.
I have a minor one, just
Sure.
after you made that comment. On page 6, 8 Brookfield Road doesn't have the word total next to the total line.
Okay, page 6.
8 Brookfield Road, total.
total, okay.
You guys are good.
See, I wasn't the only one looking at this from a different eye this year,
I was looking at formatting, not the numbers.
All right, I've made those adjustments. Anyone else with corrections to the line item budget?
Down here.
All righty. We'll save that then. I'll
That
plug
was
all-
plenty.
That was good. That was little things to catch. All right, version 4 of the annual town meeting warrant. That's where I'm starting with. Things here are the, I don't know if anyone's, well, actually, you guys all should have read it. I don't know, I didn't make any changes to any of the summary boxes here. So everything is what I did out of our last meeting.
Okay.
So any comments with this?
Yes.
All right, go for it.
Did you have any? Did you want to go first?
I have some comments, yeah.
No, all right, go ahead.
Is this just on all of the articles?
Oh, yeah, just tell me what article you want to go to.
Let's do them in order, so what's the first article you have?
Oh, yeah, what's
Three.
the, Article 3?
Oh, mine's 6.
All right, so Article 3 we'll go to first. Okay, Article 3, what do
Now
you
I'm
got?
worried I didn't use the most updated draft. So it says for the purpose of paying the debt service, when it just should be for the purpose of paying the debt service, the third bullet point in Article 3.
Oh, you have a D for the purpose on the third bullet point.
Yeah.
I didn't catch.
Oh, wait, why did that?
Dave, did you send that? I'm trying to find it.
This is the one,
I don't remember.
oh,
But the D is there, the D is there, that was a good catch,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, I think I got it. No, that's not it. Oh, God, I saved so much stuff.
The next one I have is Article 12, so.
okay.
All right, so Article 6 we're going to next?
Yeah, the last line of that first paragraph, or take any action relative thereto, it says take and.
Yeah, okay.
Is this from last week? From
Changing
4-2?
the
Is
warrant.
that the version?
That's okay, for typos, that's okay.
Me too.
As long as we're not changing like
And I
the
used the
intent
most
in that.
updated one from my email.
If we were trying to change 700,000 to 699,000, that wouldn't go.
These are the ones?
I have no idea.
I have V2 sent at 1:43.
All right, so where we're going to 12 next?
No, we're still on 6.
Oh, geez, okay.
I'm sorry.
Back to 6? Nope.
In the summary box,
Yep.
third line from the bottom, an almost identical article failed to pass at the, was it the June or the April? Last year was April, right?
Oh, yeah. It would have been April.
Yeah.
Kevin's wishful thinking. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, next is 12 for me.
So what was the change?
Oh, it said passed at the June 2025.
Yeah, it
and it's
should be April.
April 2025.
Last year's meeting was April.
Oh, good catch.
Must be looking at the wrong,
Yeah, you must have the wrong version.
this is Article 6?
Yep. Community Preservation Trail and Bridge Project.
I must have the wrong version here.
Page 21, Article 12.
All right, Article 12.
This is a minor correction, but
It's okay, I'm there now.
it says milliard clock internal retrofit. I think retrofit is one word. There's a dash between retro and fit.
Okay. Beautiful.
Same article,
Yeah.
on the list of items on page 22. The fire department, the special events overtime, says fire beside it, but the DPW only says special events overtime, and the police say special events overtime, and you only have fire next to the fire one. Does that make sense?
I mean, I can take it out and adjust it. It's
No,
just,
like I said.
because it's telling you fire department right next to it, you know who it's for.
Right, or just like for DPW, it just
being
says special
consistent,
events
yeah.
overtime, yeah,
Consistency is good.
okay.
Okay. That's just a minor thing too.
I have Article 18 next.
Let's
18?
see. I
Which
have,
might have the sooner one.
I have 14.
14? Okay.
I got an email from March 13th, I'm not sure if it's the right one.
Under 14, actually, it's under 13, so at the very top of page 24,
Oh, okay, the summary box for 13?
yeah, comprehensive fiscal management policies, should that be capitalized?
I
Because
believe
then
that's
you-
what the thing's called.
Okay, but then in the box under 14, it says comprehensive fiscal management policies, it's not capitalized.
Okay. Let's adjust it.
See that, please?
Yeah, oh, the P isn't.
It does say policies, yep, okay, yep.
Okay, all right. Got that.
What's your next one?
18.
Okay, mine's 17.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, that's good. This is excellent. This is what we need to do. This is,
I'm feeling
we want
better
it to
on
be a
Monday
good
picking
product.
last week, that's good.
Okay,
I don't know if you'd already taken this out with another version, but under 17, that description paragraph, it says, "or take any action relative thereto" twice.
oh, it does.
Yes, it does.
Excellent.
I think this is the one.
That's all I had for 17.
We caught all of these too.
18.
I'm surprised you're
This is
still
a
awake back
test.
there.
Be good at my job.
All right, so we're on to 18. Who's got 18
I have
first?
one for
Okay.
There's some reappointments coming up, so this is really like a scouting mission.
It says to see if the town will vote establish. I think it should be will vote to establish.
Andreas, yeah.
To
Okay.
establish.
Yeah, I adjusted that, so
Okay.
nice catch.
I would just add to the list of things to discuss, and I know there's a budget, there's an exhibit in our book that says, here's how much money got spent in here, money put in, spent, but we don't really talk about where the expenditures are to give a picture to people. So another thing to look forward to in the end.
Oh, and
You know,
one of
especially
the
when we're starting to
appendices?
talk about, hey, we're paying for leachate disposal, from here, we're paying for staff fees to run some of these rec programs. I don't have to list them all and break them out by dollar amounts, but maybe a way in those summary box, that report next year, to at least better explain the types of expenditures that we're making, so people have the bigger picture. And for me, as a finance committee member, to, I don't care about, a couple of labels for a house sign or whatever, but, some of those other, ongoing personnel and.
So like
other expenses
expenditure
and
categories, like,
Yeah.
like you could just have like summer rec or, and
Summer rec
Right,
staff is great, that's what I need to know. Leachate processing fee, the things at that level. I don't need to know how exactly the dollar amount for each one, but that would be helpful to better understand how the funds are being spent.
I put that in there too, as a note, these as things for
We're
next year.
talking about cover material for the landfill.
Yeah, things like that, yeah. Okay, so anything else with 18?
No.
Okay. What do you two have next?
21?
21, okay.
This is just for my, I figure if I'm questioning this, maybe somebody else would. Okay, under 21, 43,000, blah, 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 from the F/B reserved for, what's FB? Are you going to tell me what it is and I'm going to feel silly?
I don't know, actually. Barbara, do you,
Fund balance.
fund balance. There you go.
Fund balance. Okay, well, we might want to just say fund balance then.
And I think I saw somewhere where Larry made a comment that if we're gonna use acronyms or initials,
To have them explain.
somewhere, the word should be
Fund
spelled
balance, I
out
didn't know what
completely.
that
was.
And then parenthetically, you put that, and then you can use it freely
Whole
later,
thing.
and you don't have to keep writing it out.
Makes sense.
Just like at the beginning, they put our initials,
Yeah,
your name and your initials, and then after that, I'm JW for the rest of the minutes,
there you go.
because it's already been defined. I think that was good advice on Larry's part.
Makes sense.
It makes a lot of sense.
Well, I try to do in the front section. I'm actually gonna just change it to fund balance, and then
There you go.
that's a question that's easily solved. All right.
22.
22. Oh, and I didn't know if anyone noticed, I did change the format of that article slightly so it was easier to read. I kind of separated that out because if you remember last year, there were 3 bullet points in that article, and this year there was only 1, so I just made it look like a bullet point.
Well, you did it so well, nobody noticed.
I didn't,
It's so easy to read.
All right, I'm sorry, where are we going next?
22.
22?
I don't have anything.
In the summary box, it says this is a annual cost. It should be an annual cost.
Oh, yeah, you got me freaking,
This is on 22?
yeah, in the summary box.
This is
It's fine.
an annual cost.
It's a mandatory program. This is a recurring annual cost. Maybe I'm looking at the wrong version then.
Because we had the discussion about recurring and annual meaning exactly the same thing. If it's gonna recur, it's gonna happen every year, and if it's annual, it's happening every year, so. We were doubling up on the recurring every year. Okay, after 22,
I have 27.
I have 31.
Okay.
27, okay.
And I'm not sure, I wish I could ask my mother, who's no longer here, and she would know this answer. But under 27, let me see, 1, 2, the third line from the bottom of the page,
In our motion?
in the recommendation, I'm sorry, in the recommendation of the Finance Committee,
Uh-huh.
and this is done in a couple other places too, but ending the sentence with the therefore, and to issue bonds or notes,
That comes right from the town bond council,
okay,
so I wouldn't mess with that
I
wording.
can't change that.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's official language.
never mind.
It's okay.
So also, that was under the.
Did you get the select board to add that sentence in their motion as well?
Yes,
Yes.
Okay,
yeah.
And just to go back to
the
recurring,
while,
The wild, yeah, that's in your motion too.
recurring is not necessarily annual. It's recurring, it's defined.
It could be weekly, it could be monthly.
occurs at a regular interval. It can be days, weeks, months, or years. It's not by definition annual.
Yeah, but this meeting happens annually, so it's
Okay, but I'm
recurring.
just saying, well,
No, you're right.
say it recurs annually, but
Okay. I'm good with where we're at.
Okay.
All right, so after, that was 27, who's got,
Do you have one for 29?
I had 20, it was the
therefore,
therefores again, so no,
in 29?
yeah.
Okay.
They're- so I-
31.
31?
Can't do math.
Do you have 30?
That stuff.
Do I hear 30?
American.
Go for it.
All right, 31, school bus.
In the summary box, the last sentence says, in order to reduce the operating budget this year, only one bus be funded.
Will be.
Will
It
be.
should will be, yeah.
And did you hear anything back from our esteemed superintendent of schools, if it's one or two?
One bus out of Burgess, and there's one bus out of the Tantascwa budget. And the regional transportation reimbursement will be at least 80%.
So are you saying there's actually 3 buses in this budget?
No, so you guys kept asking if there was 2 buses in Burgess. There's 1 bus in Burgess, and there's 1 bus in
In Tantascwa.
Tantascwa,
Okay.
Which is funded by 80%.
which is reimbursed through the regional transportation.
Oh, I got you.
At least 80%.
But the one bus for Burgess is being funded out of Article 31.
Free cash.
Yes, there's only, right, so.
One bus.
You were asking, unless I misunderstood you.
No, no,
you were asking me if there was 2 buses from the Burgess budget. There was always only 1.
Right.
Okay, that makes sense.
The other bus is in the Tantascwa budget.
And that gets divided out across everybody.
No, that gets, so that was for Sturbridge students,
Oh, okay.
okay? But under the law, there is a regional transportation reimbursement,
Yeah.
which is at least, Deb told me, at least 80%.
Okay.
But any more questions on buses? I defer to Deb, and you can ask her.
I think we're okay with buses.
Thank you.
Okay with that, yep.
All right, so if we took care of Article 31, where are we going next, ladies?
I have 32.
32, all right.
It's minor. A, this planning board shall prepare all zoning bylaw articles. I think it should be the planning board.
And in A, this?
A, yeah, it says this planning board.
Yeah. Okay. That's not really what you, in A, under 62-8, it says this planning board, it should be the planning board shall prepare. That's, I'm good with that. All right. Anybody
So I
else?
don't disagree with that, I just would check with Gene that that minor change doesn't impact all their hearings and everything in the way they've advertised. I think it's non-material, but.
Yeah.
Can you repeat on that one what you just changed?
In section 62-8, town meeting requirements.
Article 32.
Yeah, letter A, it says this planning board instead of the planning board, and we changed it to the. You got that?
I might leave that, given the nature of what this is.
Why?
Well, I guess we have to look to see what the current general bylaws say.
Okay,
Oh, this is,
We refer to everything
general
else as
bylaws, not
the. We say
zoning
the
bylaws,
select board.
right.
every time.
okay, I got you.
But I don't know, we'd have to pull it up and see what A currently says.
Yeah.
well, but everything else in here is the.
The town administrator.
I understand, but it's gonna be the difference of whether you're striking it and replacing this with the.
Okay.
You know, like if it's already wrong.
Oh, I see what you're
And
saying.
you're changing the whole old bylaw, which is a little bit, I mean, it may be really minimal, but still.
I got you, because you're showing strikeouts and what you're replacing it with.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Well, I don't know.
Well, we'll leave it with this and we'll have it go in grammatically incorrect. Because then, Mike, I get to your point now, because they had public hearings for
No,
this.
this is not a zoning bylaw, so I.
It's
take
not?
it
It's
back.
just
Yeah,
general?
This is a general bylaw.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Did you have to hold the public hearing for this, or we just stick it on a warrant article, and that's the first time people see it for general bylaw changes?
If it's just the first time they see it, I would go to change it and make it correct right off the bat.
I'm not sure if it was a public meeting, but it was an open discussion at the planning board. This was discussed, I watched the meeting. You probably attended it. You go to all the
I
meetings.
don't think this article was a planning board discussion, but, okay.
It says it's sponsored by the select board, so it's probably,
Yeah, because this is really cleanup language more than anything.
So if we just did the cross out and put the and crossed out this, wouldn't that clean us all up?
That was section 62
-8, town meeting requirement.
-8, yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
Oh, okay.
Didn't Gene
Letter A.
do a presentation to
A
the?
says, it says the planning board, blah, 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 the planning board, so it is the in the whole thing, in all of A it is the.
Okay.
So we'll change it to the and we'll correct
Okay,
that.
I feel better, okay.
I thought we had a codification process that we would run these things to as well as part of the service, so.
Robin, do I recall, didn't Jean present this to the select board? Didn't she come to this?
No.
Oh, I thought she did. I don't know
She
where I
had
saw it.
one of the special.
I remember seeing it.
So she presented the battery storage to the board.
Okay,
Oh, I remember that, yeah.
all right, article, that was 32, that was, Bridget, do we go into any other one in this annual? Go ahead.
I don't have anything till the special town.
Oh, I thought you were smiling, you're gonna tell me, nope, I got one more.
You're good.
I got something special.
Oh, in the special? All right, anything else here with the annual for anybody else? Beautiful. All right, so let me save this. Uh-oh, damn it. I hit the undo button instead of the save button. All right, saved. All right, STM warrant articles. Article 55.
Now, 59.
No? Okay. 56? 57? All right, why, oh, you don't have any?
I don't have any till 63.
Oh, okay, so 59 then we're going to. Beautiful. All right, Dowdy Road planning.
Okay, just the third line down under the title, acquired Dowdy Road properties. Should that be property?
I don't know the answer to that.
Okay, because
It's plural, it's multiple, it was multiple properties.
Yes. There you go.
it is multiple, okay, just wanted to verify. All right.
All righty. So moving on from 59 to 60, 61.
61,
Yeah,
it's at the top of page 41.
41.
In the summary box, the last sentence of the first paragraph. Is that year correct? 2023, I just wanted to, in order to use these funds, an appropriation must be made at town meeting for funds received prior to June 2023.
Gotta get rid of that
Yes.
comma
So
too.
they changed the law, and so when this fund was initially established, you had to go to town meeting to spend the money. And then a lot of communities, Sturbridge being one, get very small amounts of money every year. And so then they changed the law that if you get less than a certain dollar amount, you can spend the money without an appropriation. But you couldn't do that for the money we got in the beginning, so this is gonna clean up all that money. And then going forward, we'll never have to do this again.
Okay, so the June 2023 is accurate?
Yes,
It is,
Okay,
yeah.
and I took out the comma that was there, just June 2023.
Yeah.
Okay. 62? 63, battery storage
oh
one.
boy.
I just have two notes for 63.
Okay,
The first paragraph doesn't end with a period.
okay.
And
Under,
then,
after uses, right, you're talking?
yes.
Does now.
And then the third paragraph, it says bylaws that will ensure, and it spells ensure with an I. I think it should be an E. And then it says it again in the third line. It spells ensure with an I, and I think it should be an E.
You're right.
All right, I see the first one, it will, it should be ensure,
Yeah,
and then where's the first?
the third line, such a way as to ensure the protection of groundwater.
Where was the first one?
Right above
The
it,
second line.
Second and third line.
yeah,
Oh, duh.
it's ensure instead of insure.
Was that all you had for?
That's all I had.
Okay, so mine has to do with the second paragraph. That is one long sentence.
It's okay.
I have a suggestion, or,
All right, now we're getting into where you might be changing what the thing means.
This was already approved by council, so, and written by council, so you guys shouldn't be changing. Like, a typo is one thing, but rewording it, we shouldn't be doing.
Yeah,
never mind.
okay. Safe enough. Is that all?
I missed the bearer of that news, I'm sorry.
No, it's fair.
Oh, no.
And I'm still a little on the fence on the insure versus insure. Well, I agree with you.
Yeah,
We're changing-
I really want to check, the draft that council gave us to see how he spelled it and make sure that isn't some unintended consequence.
Okay.
So we get the planning articles, they go through a public hearing process, they gotta, changes need to kind of conform to what was at that public hearing process, what was recommended by the planning board when we,
This doesn't come from the planning board, so it didn't go through, it says the sponsor is the select board.
but it is a zoning article,
Yeah,
is it?
but
not?
it is a zoning, so it goes through planning.
There's a process that where changes become problematic.
So where's the vote of the planning board then? I didn't notice this before, but usually for the zoning ones, we also put the recommendation of the planning board.
I can check with Jean on the vote on that. I don't recall her sending it over with a vote.
Okay. Well, they usually get up and tell us at the town meeting anyways.
Yes.
Yeah.
So have we ended the insure debate yet?
I think it's going to be changed to ensure, because ensure means to make certain, and insure means
Should
to,
be insure, yeah.
Yeah,
insure
insure's like
means to
providing
make,
insurance.
is a financial term.
I agree.
So,
Just the process that it went through to get to this point by changing it outside of the process.
That's a spelling error, though. Even Ward was picking up that wasn't right.
it's supposed to, ensure means to
I
make
agree.
sure an outcome is
But you're
correct.
saying if it was like specific language and usage from the attorney.
That's why you'd have to,
All
correct,
right,
the attorney
so-
would have to say, oops. but I think
Anything
they
else
would.
with the special town meeting warrant?
Yes.
Yes?
Oh, well,
We're on it, aren't we?
Yeah.
the attachment,
The attachment?
Attachment.
the Community Preservation Committee report to the Finance Committee.
Oh, okay. Wait, that's coming.
Okay,
We're done with the STM though.
Yeah.
All right. STM is saved. Okay. Community preservation report. Let me, this. So I can do it, open it up and change it. All right, what don't we like about the CPC report? What have we got?
The only thing is that the 19.5 is mentioned twice in the verbiage. And under the,
Two same bullet point twice.
yeah. And according to all the numbers on the next page, it's only once.
Okay. I got rid of one of the bullet points. Excellent catch. All right, any of the other appendices with a problem? All right, so we'll save this. And then I can put these all back together and make this the final report. And then
Kevin,
I,
if I could just jump in, I got a message back from Jean. Planning did vote it unanimous to support as written.
yeah, but what, do you have the numbers? And I'll put it.
Okay, let me just see what. Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
But
thank
they did
you.
vote it.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna add it right in there. Recommendation to the planning board.
she asked if we had the 10 spot, yes.
Control C. Whoops.
Do you put that first in the list, or do you put that in
It's
the
dead last.
The last,
It's us, the select board, then the plan, then any other board. So
Okay.
like, the CPC, I think, used to be in here too, and we put it dead last.
Okay.
Where are we now?
Yeah, and the STM on that best moratorium, we're adding the recommendation to the planning board. We're just waiting for the number because they said they did vote it and it was unanimous, but is it 6, 7?
Working on that now.
Okay.
The guidance I received is that minor change, as long as it's okay by the sponsor, is not overly problematic. Insure versus,
And sure.
Okay.
I don't even know how many members are there in the planning board? 7?
Yeah, Jean's gonna look it up.
so you can add that when we get it, when it comes.
Yeah.
We can just keep moving on.
Forget it.
Well, we did, were you here for the change to the CPC article? There was one change in the CPC appendix, and that was, there was a duplicate bullet point, so we just took one of them out. Other than that, there was nothing else, so we'll hold, so we got meeting minutes to deal with. I'll just keep this open until we got it. Trying to remember which ones came. I have March 12th, 16th, and it's gonna be April 2nd, because the 12th and 16th haven't shown up yet.
I've got it, it was 6-0.
6-0, thank you.
Yeah.
6-0. Leave that, close this. All right, you go away.
See, did you get this information on the trails? Is this from you?
No, this is, I think it's from Ken.
I think
The
we have,
trail information?
4.2 and 4.10.
It's when you get in, yeah, I got the, yeah.
We have, I only thought we had 4-2.
Let me see.
I'm going back, I'm looking. We got boatloads of draft minutes, there we go. No, I have 2 4-2s.
So there's 2 others outstanding, right? The 16th and
March
the
12th and March 6th,
12th and
12 and
16th.
16.
and we have 4-2.
Okay.
Because today is
so
4-9.
One of them you will get as soon as I get home tonight, the long
Okay.
one.
The 12th.
And the other one, I will have tonight at the end of tonight as well. As soon as I get home, I'll file them.
Okay,
And then after tonight, that'll be hopefully it.
Let me go back. We have 4.2. What's
All right,
that? Today's
so-
the 9th.
yeah, today's the 9th, so we're moving on to the meeting minutes of April 2nd.
What about the 16th? Did you send out the 16th?
Not yet.
No, I don't have 12th or the 16th yet.
No, 12th, or which is the one we just talked about that you sent back
12th.
today? The 12th.
That's a long
The
one.
16th, I will get to you tonight
Okay,
and get to the rest of
that's the
them.
select board, okay.
Yeah,
Right.
that was the select board one.
Okay,
That's short.
so you have 4.2, she's gonna send you 4.12, 3.16's in the works. Tonight's
Tonight's in-
Yeah.
in the works, okay.
We're moving, we're good, we're right on top of minutes. No one can give us any crap about not having our minutes done. All right. So anyone have any changes or comments about the minutes of April 2nd? All right. Hearing none, I'll take a motion to approve them as written.
So moved.
I'm sorry, I missed him.
MC,
And you seconded, Jim?
I'll do it.
Okay. MC and JW.
I gotta, no, I gotta open it. The only Chris can't vote.
Oops. All righty, all those in favor? Opposed? Oh, Mike too, very good, 7, and you're abstaining, 7-0 to 1. Beautiful.
Who's
All right.
abstaining?
Me.
Mr. DeRose. All righty, so let me see, I know I sent,
I did also hear from Jean on the insure, we were just going back and forth. She said, I asked her, can they change the insure to insure? She said, in the bylaw text box, I said bylaw. She said, yes, just send the final warrant and she will update her. She considers it a minor non-substantive change.
okay, all right, everyone's gonna get copies tomorrow morning, by the way things are working, so.
Yep.
All right, so that's that. New business. Okay, so I gotta find Larry's email. I know I sent it to everyone with his points, and that way it made it easy for you, hopefully, at least to put it in the minutes. But I just wanted to make sure. I don't remember. That was today, right? I can't find my own set. I'll have to go to sent items.
He sent it to you on Wednesday, April 8th at 7:21.
At 7:21. Must still be in my other inbox, that's why. Oh. I guess we're going to sent items, Kevin. Go away.
I have it printed out if you need
Do you? That would make life so much easier.
it. So,
Thank you. I usually have them open for this, but I missed that little task. Okay. So, and Larry's thing for the new business, I sent you guys the list, but he wanted to add to it that asking whether we should conduct a 10-town comparison. The date from the last one has been about 10 years ago. Also, whether the parse all text so that the first term is spelled out. This is what you were saying he referred to, OPEB, other post-employment benefits.
Right.
And make sure the first time we use it so that anywhere in this document, it's clear.
Then you can use the acronym after that freely without,
Yeah. At the glossary of budget terms you wanted to have added, that was there and it went away. Oh, okay, it's a dog.
It's a yes.
Okay, and then actually an exhibit that, some type of appendix about annual receipts of gifts and grants. So we can just put it there. So just add that in there and you can just take it verbatim and put it in there. Anyone else have any other new business before?
Yeah.
So,
Oh, we got two things that I passed out.
the what? Oh, okay. Go ahead, Ken.
One is just a quick one on trails. MC and I were working on this, MC. It was brought up a lot during meetings that the trails brings in money, meals, rooms and the like. And then we mentioned October at one point with 11,000, it was a real spike. So we're trying to figure out where's the correlation, if there's is there a correlation? So again, this is rough, okay, quarter to quarter over a period of 4 years. And basically what it comes down to is it looks like for the spike on Q4 2025, you see a pretty good spike in meals and room, particularly meals is a good jump there, probably about 9%. So is this definitive, like I'll say it's in everything? No, but I think in the future people might bring up about the trails bringing in more revenue as far as meals and the like. The data we have right here shows, yeah, it's probably true. It probably does increase the amount of revenue coming in here. So now when people come in and say it does, we have some data here anyway.
It's more likely than not.
More likely than not. I like that one. And the second one brought up here, and I passed a handout, was a DLS interactive color map. If you see, I talked with Barbara and Robin on this a while back, and here's some towns here. Did a rough. This is not, again, a definitive, if you will, analysis, but attached in with this, and this primarily has to do with the mill rate as far as that's concerned, and it basically looks at Charlton, Southbridge, East Brookfield, Sturbridge, and the like, and gives us a little bit of an idea as far as the average house cost for property taxes and then the mill rate, and it gives us maybe an idea in the area, we can expand it. But as important, attached is a highly recommended using DLS data for municipal peer analysis. So it gives you an understanding of what additional factors are going to play into it. And I think that's what Robin and Barbara and I talked about a little bit. You just can't take the mill rate. That may not be indicative of us to other towns.
It's not.
But on the other hand, I think we need a baseline because, like I said, the Robin and Barbara, I mean, everybody's talking about taxes high, taxes low. You need a base. Is it too high? It's too low. Without a base, you really don't know. So I think doing a study like this, and this might be in our wheelhouse, I think we then have a little bit of analysis as to where we are, and we go accordingly. And then at least we have a benchmark as far as moving in the future. Some thought there.
I would just say mill rate is a funny number, because I can change the mill rate by moving the taxation around. I can also change it by going down the assessors and saying, why don't you just crank up the assessed values here and we'll lower the mill rate and still collect the same amount of taxes. So, and when we start comparing, some of these tax rates to some other towns, you're missing the level of services. There are a couple of communities in here that have a single police officer, not the staff that we have of 12.
No, I'm not saying
the fire departments are, so there's a different level of service in some of these communities that keeps their tax rates low, but their levels of services are low as well.
Yeah, once you get the baseline, you can make any assumptions you want. We can have a baseline saying our taxes are high. Well, are they high? No, because we want trails, we want community centers, senior centers and the like. So, but you need some sort of baseline to figure out where we are in comparison to like towns, to say how we operating. Are we operating efficiently like towns or not? Again, food for discussion and thought.
Well, that ties into Larry's ask for the 10-town comparison, picking the right towns that are comparable to Sturbridge.
Sure.
And then looking at, overall levels of service, taxes and so forth from there. So
Yeah.
I know.
If we were to take that up in the off cycle, do we want to pursue it? What are the towns, what are the things we want?
Well, we had that for a long, I know we had a set of 10 towns for like 15 years. Then we went and adjusted them so they were a little more like Sturbridge and they changed. And I think that's where he's talking about, in that new set of 10 towns, we haven't done a comparison in a while. Yeah, I'd have to go.
And you can look, I mean, I could go crazy with the numbers. There's out of 351 towns in Massachusetts, 122 towns are greater than $8,000 per household, or 35%. And 229 is less than $8,000, 65%. My point being, you can slice it, dice it any which way you want, but I think it's nice to, if we did it 10 years ago, I'd like to see the report. It'd be interesting to see it. We can use that as a baseline. If that would make sense last time and just update it, that's fine too. But at least we'll have a benchmark as far as what we're doing, because saying taxes are high, taxes are low is great. Everybody has an opinion, but compared to what? And one last thing.
I think that discussion would have to be really thoroughly fleshed out, because, you can do comparative towns. You can look at Charlton, for example, but Charlton chose to have Amazon come in.
Oh,
So
sure.
I think that I'm fine with having a baseline, but I agree that if it's gonna be done, it needs to be a much broader discussion, maybe an off-budget season discussion on all the factors that weigh in on that. Because it is important, again, the level of service, as you point out, and as I said, sort of the will of the community as far as like an Amazon.
Yeah.
Because those things do impact us. And again, are we a build out and what can we anticipate for growth? Because that question came up earlier, and that is an important question.
Yeah.
I think it's an important point to have some comparables. Absolutely, we do it when we look at salaries and everything else. But I do think that when you have those discussions, you have to consider all of those broad parameters. I'm happy to have that discussion.
No, that
To
was
point out
the
what you just
report.
said, Robin, in Charlton, they have a very extensive portion of Route 20, but the nature of that portion, of that Route 20, is not the same as Fiskdale here. It is highly industrialized. It's primed for industrialization because there's no neighborhoods there.
Yeah.
It's all for business. Car dealerships and,
Yeah, where we have that, we put the cold storage, for example, in, which is very appropriate use. But as you point out, we don't have a lot of that, and we
No.
put, Walmart.
And they've got
But-
tens of miles of it. I mean, they have a lot of miles to do that on, yes.
Absolutely. So those are those really kind of nuanced things that have to be fleshed out in discussion.
You gotta put some intelligence in, there's no question about it. Question, does anybody have the report that was referenced, that was 10 years old? Does anybody have that report? Where is
I'd
it?
have to go looking.
Yeah,
It
Okay.
it definitely existed, because for the longest time, we used to use those as for developing all of the union contracts.
yeah. And one other, last point too, I know it's gonna get late. I was looking at the hotel, rates that we can, by Massachusetts, charge 6%. And I guess I was going back with Barb and, Robin, I think you might have been on it too. I guess that's the max we can basically charge, it's at 6%, entertainment or whatever they call it, service fees. But I did happen to run across an article, Right, Wrong, Indifferent, I think I sent the copy. They were saying if in fact B&Bs or rental homes put additional stress on the services, town services, Massachusetts will allow you to put another 3% on that particular aspect. My take is based on the increase in seasonality in the town from what we've heard, it does put a stress. I would consider putting another 3% on B&Bs and home rentals. Who will pay that? Probably the tourist and the seasonal people. Do they use the services and facilities? Yeah. Do they put potholes in the road? Yeah. Is an additional 3% probably good for the town? Yeah. Is it realistic? I don't know. We have to figure that one out, but it's something probably should be investigated.
And I don't know how many B&Bs we have and whether we're gonna get $5 extra or 500,000 extra.
I don't know
So
either.
The extent of the potential there before somebody dives into it too deeply is probably the first step, I would say.
Well, I
We would have
heard
to-
some numbers thrown out here that in summer, the population grows from 10,000 to 13,000. I heard some ridiculous number. Maybe it's not ridiculous, maybe it's real. Does anybody know what the seasonality of
They
increase
have to
is?
declare it. I want to say it's more like 20,000.
20,000. So you
It
go from,
almost, it nearly doubles, and
Yeah.
a lot of that is a combination of hotel rooms that are full, every room is full, let's say during Brimfield Fair, or when we had the Pan Mass here, every hotel room is full, so if you figure we have several hundred hotel rooms at 2 people a room, right there you have a couple thousand there, and then traveling on any given day, we have over 1 million cars that come through 84 and 84 and 90.
we get 11 million a year, yeah.
Of the population, it could be the daytime population coming in on day trips. You then also have to count all the campgrounds and an average of how many people per camper. So there's a formula for that calculation. I don't think that B&Bs in that formula was formed. I don't think B&Bs were a thing at the time. We might have had some declared rentals, but not B&Bs. We have to be extremely careful with that because we don't actually have a B&B bylaw, and that's going to open a very interesting can of worms.
No, I'm just thinking is, again, the townspeople, like we say, we got rural, and then we have the commercial and alike, and taxes obviously going up, and we're looking at revenue. If we can get more revenue that way, how much, I don't know. All I'm saying, it's an opportunity potentially, or maybe not. Something to look at. I don't think it'll take that long to analyze.
No, in places like the Cape, for example, where row after row after row of B&B.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And it's also home rentals too. It's not just Airbnb, it's home rentals too. So people that rent homes on the lakes or anything like that, they would be included, from what I gather.
Again, it's to do a bylaw on it, which is really what we would have to do if we started formally acknowledging and trying to zone B&Bs, is going to open a very, very broad discussion. I'm not saying it's one we shouldn't have. At this point, we've kind of held because it creates a lot of complexity on the lakes. Those are private roads. What counts as renting a house or letting your family stay for a night? It's very complicated. Cape has done a really good job with it, and if we are going to look at it, we're going to have to look to mirror something like that. But we run into a little tricky situation with the private roads and whatnot. But it's a discussion we've had, and as far as zoning, not as far as taxing. But if we were to do the zoning, then if they're going to count it as an Airbnb, does it count like a hotel?
And I think what you said is incredible. We should never reinvent the wheel, but we don't have to. If the Cape does it, and obviously they do it because we all know the Cape, what it does, from ghost town to, boom town, that's the place, whatever town you want to go to, whatever town administrator you want to talk to, probably would probably have the answer right readily available, I would think.
But again, they're a little different in that, every house on that row is probably a rental for most of the year on each of those streets. In our cases, Airbnbs would be dispersed in the middle of year-round home neighborhoods too. And so that creates a slightly different dynamic, and that's what, we've thought planning and my team on our side, both sides of the street have actually discussed this during some of our land use meetings. So it's on the radar, but there's a lot that's gonna have to happen. The first would be a bylaw, and that's gonna create a lot of discussion before we can do anything with taxing.
Oh, sure. It's just an idea thrown out there. And just one last thing I just want to put. Has anybody looked at this book yet?
Yeah.
It's an excellent book, whoever puts it together. One thing I want to say kudos to is, I noticed on page 86 is the annual report of the Principal Burgess Elementary School. And it basically gives some of the achievements based on what the needs were and initiatives. Because last week we had brought in here, Burgess, they came in with a stack of initiatives they gave us and what they were gonna do. And now you look at page 86 and here's the measurements of improvement. It's a really good way to run an operation, run a town, run whatever you wanna talk to, right? So they had initiatives, and then on page 86 you read it, a lot of very good results. So kudos to those people making good progress and the like, so congratulations.
Okay, I have to chastise all of us, because I was just putting together the finalized report, and we all missed something on the table of contents. I don't have page numbers for the appendices for debt or revolving funds. We'll just correct that.
Did you just fix it?
I just did, yeah.
Fast.
Well, thanks for sharing that with us.
Yeah. Thanks for shaming all of us that we didn't catch it.
No, I mean, it's all those little things, it's amazing how they amount up.
Yeah.
Okay, so the only
You
other,
didn't miss them while you were putting the thing together, we wouldn't even have to talk about it.
you're absolutely right. All right, so the last thing I had under new business is April 23rd. Some of you heard this already, but we're gonna meet on that Thursday prior to the ATM, so hopefully we have numbers to make our recommendations, Articles 55, 56, and 57. So maybe there'll be a reserve fund that night, who knows, but that's basically, it's gonna be very minimal agenda for that purpose.
This,
Oh, yeah, you can dial in, it's no big deal.
I'm sorry, the 16th or the 20th?
23rd.
23rd, okay.
Right, that Thursday prior to the actual town meeting, which is Monday, the 27th.
We'll be out here by 7:30, right?
Any luck?
Yes, yeah. Hopefully, we have numbers, we can move them. I mean, we can try and go for like our land speed rec and get us out in 2 minutes, if you guys are just
No
prepped.
later- I said no later then, just sooner.
Okay. Any other old business? Okay, public access, since we have one member of the public here? No? Okay. And then I will entertain a motion to adjourn at 8:48. Chris, do I have a second? Ken? All those in favor of adjournment?
Aye.
Aye, here we go, 8-0.